Hi everyone, it's TJ90 here, and we are back with another tactics video. This another one of my own making, and it's a little bit crazy. It's a little bit crazy. So yeah, let's get into the madness that is this tactic that came into my brain, and I apologize. I apologize. But before we get into it, everyone, I haven't done this for a while, so doing this little plug. So if you can do me a favour, drop a like down below, leave a comment and subscribe. I am going to be doing a few more of these weird little tactic videos, potentially looking at some of like the lesser used positions maybe. So yeah, if this is the sort of stuff you're interested in, you know what to do. You don't want to miss it then, so click that subscribe, get those notifications, and yeah, you'll be up to speed with all the madness. This is going to be a one-season mini-series, literally just testing this tactic that I've come up with. I had a few teams in mind. I ended up settling for Barcelona. Might not seem like much of a challenge, but there was a reason why I went for that, because I had in mind the players that I would kind of want to use. The other teams I could have gone for would have been like someone like Lazio, Inter Milan or Juventus, and you will see why in a second. Everyone, this is the tactic in its current form. Let's call it form. Yeah, I don't really know how I came up with it, to be honest with you. I think if you've seen any of the Parma series that unfortunately we never really got around to finishing before FM22 came out, you'll know that I had a tactic which utilised the libero, which I really liked. Yeah, so I thought, how can I get that to work? And I was going to end up using two wide centre-backs, but I ended up just settling for one. I'd not really used wide centre-backs that much on this iteration of FM. And people that I was speaking to said that, generally speaking, what they found was that when you had two wide centre-backs, only one tended to go forward anyway, and one would stay back. So I thought, well, let's just leave one on wide centre-back to make sure that he is pretty much always guaranteed to go forward. And in case we just get left a little bit caught, we'll stick a ball-playing defender on cover. So basically, this tactic has been through a few processes. Basically, the principle behind the tactic, I thought, is purely an experiment to see if the game picks up on what I would hope would be a large portion of your playmaking coming from your defenders. So complete wing backs I've gone for. Initially, it was just Jordi Alba as a wing back and Serginho Dest as a wing back on attack and Alba on support, maybe. Long story short, they've now been changed to complete wing backs. Serginho Dest has broken his foot and is going to be out until like November, which is really annoying. He was kind of the person I was planning on starting. And you'll also see that Alba has a lovely red cross next to him, so he's also injured, I think, for the next 3 to 4 weeks. Ronald Araujo is also injured. He was playing as the covering centre-half. Yeah, so basically the reasoning being that I thought, right, let's have wide centre-backs and let's have libero, and let's see if the match engine, the AI, picks up on your defenders as being your main source of playmakers, in theory, is what I was hoping. Having De Jong pushing up into this attacking midfield, this sort of central midfield role, and dictating the play, and hopefully getting all the way up into sort of this number 10/8 position. And hopefully just pulling the strings from there and just seeing if the opponents would get onto it, basically, and seeing what sort of numbers we could get from our defenders. So what happened was I was talking to a few of the boys in the Discord server, and one of my friends, he had a Barcelona team who were about six seasons deep, maybe. I can't remember how many seasons he was in, and he won the Champions League 4 times, which is, incredible. So the team obviously looked very different to the team we have today. You'll notice we've got the likes of Alba, Traore, we've also got Ferran Torres, because this is post the winter update, so all these players are here at Barcelona. So he ran the tactic test for me over a season with his team. The formation was a little bit different. The formation was more like this, so I kept this just to show you how it initially started, but we had 2 number 8s rather than a number 10. So one thing we found with that one, and Frankie de Jong was the BPD on cover, and these were 2 wide centre-backs. So basically what happened was defensive numbers were very solid. They conceded the least in the league, and I think the likes of no, it wasn't Stegen, I can't remember. But basically, yeah, conceded the least in the league, and I think the keeper got the most clean sheets for the season as well. But the problem was they averaged 2 goals a game, which meant that they came second in the league, quite a way off Real Madrid, and they also didn't get particularly far in the Champions League. I think they got knocked out in the quarterfinals. Struggling to sort of create and retain any degree of possession in the final third. So what happened was I've now tried it and I've gone for a number 10. And basically this is how I started it with this season, with Nico as the Segundo Volante and Busquets as the anchorman. The issue I had with Nico being the Segundo Volante is, unfortunately, he makes the right sort of runs, but his finishing's not great. So he was getting in really good positions and then just smashing the ball over the bar. So what we've done is we've now changed it. So we've got this sort of slightly off-centre spine, where basically as that wide centre-back pushes forwards, Busquets holds his position here, feeds it hopefully to Nico, who then links up with Depay, who are playing the trequartista role. Again, a role I've not really used that much. It's kind of turning into a lesser used roles in Football Manager, I think, in my experience. Not many people tend to use a trequartista. They also don't really use an enganche that much. So the reason for the trequartista is because I'm hoping he's going to be a good link in that final third between the midfield and the attack, because in theory he shouldn't move from that position at all. He should stay in and around here, just float around in behind the box, and hopefully feed the ball through to Alba as the advance forward. Now, this will be Pedri when he gets back up his holiday. Obviously, famously, Pedri just didn't take a break at all. So he is on holiday until something like the 25th of August. So he's going to be in this role, and we're going to have Alba. I think we're going to keep him as the advance forward. I don't really see any reason to change. I'm always a bit wary of deep line forwards, plus his passing's not the best anyway. So yeah, he's going to be the advance forward, and we're going to see how it goes. We've got our first league game today. I did do the pre-season where we beat Zaragoza 2-1, drew 1 over Blackpool. So at this point, I realised, oh wait, hang on, I'm actually not taking control of friendlies. It's automatically giving it to my assistant. I changed it, forgot to hit confirm, so I didn't take charge of the Blackpool game. We then played Juve. So this was a game where the first game watching it, and I did change a few things during it. So we had a standard defensive line, which we pushed up too high during this game, and that reduced the amount of chances that Juve were getting in and around our box. And we also swapped Nico from a Segundo Volante to a Regista, and he worked very, very well. But then since then, we've changed it after the Atalanta and the Torino game was very strange, 2-0 loss. Yeah, really quite poor, but you know what, we'll ignore that for now. Basically, with this team, I had to rotate quite heavily due to injuries, and I was aware we had the first game of the season coming up. So, yeah, Ferran Torres had a shocker. Ricky Puig didn't play very well. He came in. I think Gavi was injured. Yeah, so we're not going to pay too much attention to the Torino result because it wasn't with the team that we will be picking generally, and it wasn't with the team that had been playing at all either. So, I know full well that this is a type that is going to take time, and we're going to have to do a lot of tweaking. We have been watching it on extended highlights. Don't worry, I am on comprehensive. Sorry, don't worry, we're not going to play this game on comprehensive highlights because it'll take forever. But we are using a lot of 2D data analysis, things like that, to try and see how we can get this tactic to work to the best. So it's kind of going to be a guide and a journey, I guess, in general tactics creation, but also how you can hopefully create any tactic and it can be as wacky as you want it to be. I think that's the wonderful thing about Football Manager is you can make any tactic you want, within limits. Obviously, the limits being this pitch. But there's nothing stopping me playing, Traore up here, Alba up here, Frankie de Jong there, and having that or that. There's nothing to stop me doing anything like that. Or, I could put Nico there, or if I wanted to, I could do that. That's what's so great about Football Manager. You can do whatever you want with the tactic system. You can have the player instructions, individual player instructions, team instructions. You can give your players roles, which is something that we have, traits, which is something that we have done, which we'll look at in a bit. Gavi is the only thing. I think I'm going to try him as a box-to-box for this game because as a CM attack, he was getting in good positions, but his chance conversion wasn't great. So I think if we put him as a box-to-box, he can hopefully basically run up and down here and provide some support. So we've got Gavi on, he should get further forward. And yeah, let's get him to move into channels. Obviously, this is a new role I'm just giving him today. Nico is learning to arrive late in the box, hopefully, again, just to get more numbers forward. Frankie de Jong is currently learning to not play a simple passing game. That was a trait he already had, with the view that then once we've got rid of that, we're going to get him to play killer through balls. I'm also going to want him to get forward whenever possible, I think. He's already brings the ball out of defence. So I just want to be getting de Jong up in and around here as much as possible, where he can utilise this killer passing that he has, and just ping the ball out. In the friendly against Juve, where we had the instructions to overlap left for Alba, de Jong was literally just picking the ball up and just pinging the ball out to Alba all the time. But we took that off because there seemed to be a heavy reliance on playing it to Alba, which we didn't want. So without further ado, let's get rolling and let's get into the game. So this is going to be the lineup for the first game. Balde is in for the injured Jordi Alba. And you'll notice that what we've done as well on a side to this is there's a very heavy youth dominance here. So we're very much doing it the Barcelona way. We've got Gavi, Nico, Balde all in the lineup. And then we've also got the likes of Puig, and Ansu Fati is back from injury. Abde is someone who's probably going to leave. He's, we're not doing like transfers. It's purely tactical. We're not going to be looking at buying any personnel. We disabled the first transfer window. Pedri, once he's back, obviously will be in. And there's other youngsters who we can promote from the development squad from La Masia. It's the star ratings obviously aren't great, but it's all because they're so young and they're just not really developed yet. Like Gavi's only 16, he's just literally just turned 17. Nico, 19. Balde, 17. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how these players develop once they get used to the tactic as well. In terms of what we've got as the instructions, we've got play out defence, makes sense. Dribble less, focus on the passing. It's essentially like a tiki-taka, really. In fact, I'm going to take work ball into box off. I had meant to do that because I found that they were getting the ball and just faffing around with it. So I just want them to get the ball into the box for Aubameyang, because that's what I found. Creating chances, just the chance creation, like quality, is very low XG. Not really getting the ball to Alba quick enough, I don't feel. And by the time they're trying to cross the ball and he's getting cut out, we are not countering when we got the ball. It's all very deliberate work it through. That might change. I might be looking to utilise the likes of, the wing backs to try and get the ball quickly going forward. The goalkeeper is generally distributing it quickly. And when we lost the ball, we're trying to use all these numbers just to basically just swarm on the opposition. Distributing to the back line makes sense. And then, out of possession, fairly standard. Higher line of engagement, higher defensive line, and just press just that little bit more often. We've got a game here against Real Sociedad. Why is Langley unhappy? Oh, because he was happy with that, how I slated them after the Torino game. Well, they were pretty terrible, so I think it was justified. So here we go, away to Sociedad on the first game on this tactics. Experiment, I think, is the kindest way to call it. And like I said, we're going to be using a lot of 2D, helping with our analysis of the game. But like I said, I will change the highlights for you, so you're not sat watching every single offside decision, which is one thing I've noticed, is that we do tend to see a lot of. 2D, I know, isn't always that popular for people watching these sort of things, and I will try and flick it in between this and like a director's view, but I just find it very, very useful for looking at, breaking down positions. So if you look at, let's just say, for example, what I would do right now is I might pause it. Obviously, this is with Sociedad in possession, Oyarzabal's on the ball. We've got Traore out there. It's just screening with Busquets in between, basically cutting that out, hopefully cutting that avenue down. And we've got, is that Mikel Merino on the number 8? He is also cut off by Depay and marked by Busquets. We've then got Eric Garcia out here. We've got de Jong pushing it in on Isaac and the number 19. And we've got Langley just screening here, literally just being mindful of the fact that David Silva's there. And Gavi is got it just in front of him. And then we've got Alejandro Balde with Adnan Januzaj over there. So Langley is literally just here, just basically to be a spare man, just to mop up anything that gets through. We've got Aubameyang. I don't want him dropping too deep. I want him to stay there. And then we've got Nico there as the number 6. Positioning at the moment, I'm quite happy with, but it's only 25 seconds in, but that is kind of what we're looking at. And this is why we're going to be using 2D a lot, so we can keep an eye on things like this. So I appreciate, like I said, this might not be for everyone. It's not going to be a particularly quick, fast-paced Let's Play type series. There's going to be a lot of analysis and, sort of showing people who might not have done much in the way of tactics creation before, the sort of things that I would look out for. To be fair, I'll be honest with you, well, that's a great start, isn't it? I've not done a huge amount of general tactics creation. I've created a few over the years, but mainly I've always used a preset and just tweaked it. It's only really been the last couple of years that I've created a few more in the way of tactics. So who's at fault here? Busquets gets drawn in, Adnan Januzaj drifts off, Langley doesn't really do anything, and Balde also doesn't really keep pace with Januzaj. So obviously that is sometimes the risk you get when you have complete wing backs, is they generally tend to neglect defensive duties. But is there, let's see, play instructions. I want you marking Januzaj. Sergio Busquets already injured, booked, and you know what? Maybe we should get him to mark David Silva just to try and keep out the playmakers. But really, Oyarzabal is the player we need to be worrying about. I'm thinking if we can get Busquets to stick on David Silva, oh my word, what pass! And Eric Garcia completely taken out by that. So another thing we're going to do now, so Eric Garcia has got the ball. Where are his options? Obviously, the obvious option is to go up to Adama Traore out here. But he could, if he wanted to, play a risky pass across his defence to De Jong and or to Langley. If he felt really brave, he could ping it across to Alejandro. He's got Gavi here, who's dropping down. Obviously, he's doing that box-to-box role, so I'm expecting Gavi to make a lot of runs, basically between here and here. And then we've got Depay, who's dropping deeper. Aubameyang literally in between the two centre halves. So let's see what Eric decides to do now. Plays it into De Jong. Gavi, Nico. Nice pass out to Balde. Now, the pass was on there if he was brave enough to try and ping it over for Aubameyang and behind the defence, but he wasn't. There we go, working it down the wings. Gavi on the ball. Plays it back to Langley. De Jong is pushing up into that midfield role a bit more, which I like, but I would expect him to do that anyway. Given the fact that we are playing positive, I would expect him to try and push up. Now, he's continuing his run. He's just holding it. Now he's going to hopefully continue to push up. Nico plays it into Gavi. Nice Alba. Pings it out to Balde. Now, this is a really good chance. What can we do? Comes all the way back to Memphis, and it's saved by Alex Ramiro. But you know what? I don't mind that. That was quite nice stuff. But as you'll see, it was still technically a very low XG chance. Adama with the throw-in, plays it back to Eric Garcia. Okay, so logically, I would be looking for him to play infield now, but instead he's just standing it. Adama Traore, he's going to take this man on, but I feel like it wasn't the best option for the pass. Eric plays it to... Ooh, not a bad effort from Adama there. Okay, he's starting to get a little bit of joy. Let's demand a little bit more. So Balde is sticking to Januzaj like glue now, which is what we like to see. But that pass in behind, and that's 2-0. That was a cracking pass from David Silva, who should be being tightly marked by Sergio Busquets, who should be keeping him out of the game. So let's see. David Silva gets it, and he just splits the defence with that pass. That is really not good. Playing out from the back, yeah. De Jong pings it out to Balde, okay. So I think basically Busquets isn't doing his job. Oh no, see, he's drifted over now, and he is marking David Silva. Oyarzabal was offside. So we're going to go to attacking because we need to try and start taking the game to Sociedad a bit more. Is that Borja Iglesias missing 2 penalties? Come on, Gavi. Is it to Memphis? Who has the shot? That's a corner, yeah. So it's going to be Memphis taking it. Can we get a goal just before half time? No. Not like that anyway. We made 2 changes, one in personnel and one in positional. So we put Gavi up as a number 10 alongside Depay, alongside Memphis, just playing as a supporting advanced playmaker. And we took Traore off for this man, Sergio Roberto, just because Adama was having a poor game. Don't get me wrong, it's been a game of few chances. They've scored from both their shots on target. We've also shifted Busquets over to the left-hand side to try and hopefully cover, be a bit closer to David Silva, basically. Yeah. Oh, come on. Good football, but it should have been a goal. What was that? That was awful. Aubameyang's having a shocker. So we're going to bring on, where is he? Ferran. A lot of poor performances, which is really disappointing. Starting to create a few more chances, but nothing obviously of any real significance because not scored. I feel like we've made it very easy for Sociedad in terms of conceding chances because, let's face it, both their goals have come from 2 passes, sort of splitting the defence, basically. Great save by ter Stegen. Gavi is tired. This is where I really, really, really want Pedri. Okay, we'll play Puig now. Longley not having... Roberto and Sergio not having great games. De Jong not doing much. Which is a shame because De Jong really has the potential to do well in this system because he's not bad at all in terms of his positioning. His tackling's not great, but his positioning's good enough. His anticipation's good enough. He should make a fairly decent defender. But obviously then we're hoping to be able to utilise his ability to play a pass. And it's going to finish 2-0 to Sociedad in this first competitive outing with this crazy, crazy tactic. But one thing that we're going to do with it is we're going to evolve it. We're going to break it down. We're going to look at everything and hopefully we'll get to a point where it's working the way we want it to. So if we look at the analysis we've got from that game, as you will see, our XG was far worse than theirs. But theirs wasn't great, but was worse. Our chances, generally poor XG chances. Shots saved there, 0.1, 0.1. Depay with a 0.2. That was the one where he got through. That was the free kick, I believe. A couple of shots off target. Heat map, a lot of their play obviously was coming down from the left and right hand side with Oyarzabal and Adnan Januzaj picking up from the fullbacks. For us, look at that, not brilliant. Heat map generally on the left hand side, which I find strange because Longley is generally sitting quite deep. One thing I think I'm going to tweak for this next game that we play, obviously I'm going to play that off camera, is I'm going to look at making that change of pushing Gavi up into a number 10. I'm going to basically just make that permanent, I think, and try it for the game against Celta Vigo. So what we'll do is we'll put Gavi up to there and we'll have Busquets across here, just covering in behind for this sort of gap here. And we're going to have him as an advanced playmaker, I think probably on support, to be honest with you, to begin with. And we'll just see how that goes and see if that works any better. Annoyingly, Balde is out, but only for about 5 days. And yeah, I think we'll just give it a try. what is going to happen a lot with this is for the first probably like 2 to 3 months, I'm going to play the games quite regularly. And then once I'm happy that the tactic seems to be producing the results that we are hoping to see, I might sim like a month or two at a time. So I think obviously we've got quite a bit between now and probably the biggest game of the season so far, which will be against Real Madrid. We should have played the Champions League by then. So I'll be looking to bring it back probably around about this Real Madrid game, because that's probably going to be the first real significant test. Hopefully we'll have won a few games between now and then. Yeah, this is going to be a fun little ride. We'll see how it goes. It's just something I just thought, let's just do it for a bit of fun and see what happens. So, yeah, if you enjoyed the video, everyone, drop a like. If you've got any thoughts on how to turn this slightly unusual playstyle tactic, if you want to call it that, make it a bit more effective. If you've got any ideas as you think what we could do differently, do let me know down below. You know, I always appreciate your thoughts and love interacting with you. So yeah, give us a shout, and I will see you next time, everyone. Obviously this is going to be, like I said, a one season series. And then amongst the other series we're doing, obviously we've got the Pentagon, which we're still kicking on with at the moment, and we're going to be looking at bringing back the next series. I did a poll on Twitter, which is still going on at the moment, between Partizan Belgrade, Atalanta and Everton. At the moment, Partizan are just sneaking ahead, but I've also spoken to a few of the guys in the Discord server, and a lot of them are plumped for Everton. So it looks like it's probably going to be an fairly even split between Partizan and Everton. So it's going to literally go down to the wire, I think, as to who wins on that one. But chances are I'll probably be looking to try and do 2 of those saves really between now and the start of FM23. It just depends on how we get on with the Pentagon as well, because I don't want to neglect that. We want to get that done by the time FM23 rolls around in about 8 to 9 months. So we've got a lot of time still to go. Take care, everyone. I've been TJ90, and I'll see you next time.